Hey guys, welcome back to Reason Rises with me, Doug V. For anybody who paid attention to my health update, I appreciate it. That's awesome. Right now, guys, if there's anything you enjoy about my channel, please go like and subscribe. Really helps out a lot more than you know to just click that subscribe button real quick. We are going to start being sponsored soon. We have a new format coming up also, and I think I have a really exciting first guest for us. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but I've invited this person. I think that they would be an incredible person to talk to. I think we could learn a lot from them. I think they might even learn a thing or two from me and my audience and the community that is slowly, in a tiny way starting to pop up here. So, yeah, good things, I hope, on the horizon. But and I still have my two solo episodes coming out. One of those is going to be about the fact that my daughter decided to do her first act of civil disobedience and some points that follow on from that. Another one is going to be about the fact that I am really, for all intents and purposes, due to a lot of my beliefs, just not welcome in the mainstream Democratic Party, even in the grassroots one in my area. They're not always super jazzed with me and what I think and what my viewpoints are. But I do believe in what I would call traditional democratic values. And I am I've used the word liberal a lot, but I'm more of a moderate for sure. 1,000%. So I guess I need to stop saying that I'm a liberal. But in any event, what I wanted to talk about is I think that it's important because for some reason my last several episodes had to involve ICE to a big degree. I think it's important for me to get out there what I think about ICE before people draw their own conclusions or make assumptions based on things that I've said. So, the way that I feel about ICE is we didn't used to have it. Everything seemed to be running fine. Cheeseburgers were cheap. People were employed. We could all afford pretty much everything that we needed. And there was excellent food and music around every corner. And there was a lot of cool stuff going on. And that was still happening, to a big degree until recently. And of course, still is to a big degree. This is still America. We're still strong, but obviously crazy things are happening. In any event, we used to be able to handle the problem without ICE. Now we have ICE. It's immigrations and customs enforcement. I don't think that anybody in their right mind should be against the idea of immigration and customs enforcement. What I do think is I think a lot of people, particularly legacy employees at that agency, are experienced law enforcement professionals who take their job seriously, who have pride and honor in the way that they have always done things, who believe in part of what used to be its mission, at least to a degree, which was protecting everybody's rights, even the rights of refugees, immigrants, people looking for temporary protected status in this country, etc. The people at this agency range from admin people down to the actual deportation agencies, deportation agents on the ground, and then of course the people who work in detainment, I guess is what we call it. So, and a lot of the officers on the ground working as deportation agents, and especially the brass, if they've been there for a while, they take pride in their job, and they took pride in the idea that they follow the law and that they do what they do in a respectable and legal way. And I think those people are incredibly important to keep around. I think that they are a font of knowledge that can be tapped into. I think that they are wise and know the correct way to do things. Now, what I also think about ICE currently is I think that um, the job is not being performed correctly. I think there is, in a lot of spots, it's not to say everywhere on every single arrest, on every single stop, and in every single office. What I'm saying is a lot of what we are seeing on the news is what I would call flat out unacceptable. These officers are undertrained. These officers are performing illegal actions. The people at the very top who are new at doing this, such as Christine Ohm, are encouraging these illegal actions and, in a lot of cases, immediately going after victims of crimes and portraying them as though they are criminals or terrorists, what have you. And I think in a country like ours, with a constitution and a Bill of Rights like ours, it's just not acceptable to do a lot of the things that they're doing. Now, that said, anybody who watches this channel, I hope, is aware of the constraints that these officers are working under. Those big constraints are, right now, number one, that's been in the news a lot lately, is a lot of these guys and girls signed up for $50,000 bonuses and even paychecks that haven't shown up, and they've been working for 4 or 5 weeks. They don't know where this bonus is. They can't get signed up for their health care that they were promised, and a lot of them haven't even received paychecks. At least, the folks on Reddit and the folks on social media that post about their experience as a new officer from this hiring surge. Another thing is that they cut the training program. Last that I heard, it was cut down to essentially 46 weeks. I'm not going to get into the reasoning behind it because I think it's silly, but that is 400 hours if those are regular work weeks. 400 hours of lost training. Training in the Constitution, training in legal arrests, training in how you can treat citizens, training in what kind of people you can stop, training in how to use your weapon, training in how to defend yourself against protesters, training in crowd control, training in paperwork, training in legality, training in all kinds of things that these girls and guys are missing out on. And while that scares me from an obvious standpoint, where bad things are obviously happening on the street in certain places and things are going wrong, and there's no excuse for what's happening, these people should not be allowed out on the street to do their job without getting proper training and proper pay and the benefits that they were promised. But, while there's a huge disservice being done to the public here, and it's more than a disservice done to the public, we're talking about real damage to real people's lives. The real shame is the disservice that is being done to these agents and to the agency itself. And I'm not saying for a second that I feel more or less sympathetic or empathetic with an ICE agent or a citizen who gets hurt in one of these raids. If a citizen attacks an ICE agent unnecessarily, that is unacceptable. It's as unacceptable as an ICE agent unnecessarily attacking a citizen. They're both unacceptable, period. But when you've got an agent out there who is completely untrained and doesn't know how to respond, doesn't know how to de-escalate situations just as a matter of course, doesn't understand what language to use, doesn't understand when to yell and when not to yell, doesn't understand a basic rule like never ever put yourself in front of a vehicle that could move. This kind of training is a no-brainer. And we're doing a disservice to the agents themselves because some of them can get hurt. They can wind up, and they will be winding up, getting charged with crimes on the local level and the state level if they commit what any prosecutor decides is murder or assault or any number of other things. So they're being done so many disservices in those ways. But to the agency itself and the damage done, it's sad. It's sad to see. It's sad that an agency that could be of fantastic use and could do their job properly, they have in the past. They're no strangers to it. This isn't new to the rank and file, who had already existed there at ICE and at DHS. These people were professionals. They knew how to do their job. They were damn good at their jobs. But um, when you sow so much distrust in an agency, and when your hiring surge doesn't pay people the way that they are promised to be paid, when you put people out on the street without proper training and they wind up putting themselves in situations where they could be charged with murder just for doing what they thought was their job, when you don't properly equip these people with body cameras so that they have a defense when something goes wrong, so that they can say, look, this citizen really did do something wrong. You guys just didn't have a camera on me. When they're forced to take their own phone out of their pocket to video what's going on because they think they need it as evidence, which also, by the way, in the middle of the moment is, of course, distracting them while they are trying to actually do that job. All of these things lead to what is inevitably going to turn into a brain drain. What a brain drain is when the smart people, the best people, the wise people, the people who have experience in this venture of whatever type, split and go and find something else to do. And you're left with nothing but noobs. Noobs who do not know what they're doing and can't do their job properly and therefore can't train others to do their jobs properly. This becomes a huge problem, and the follow on effects are that it becomes impossible down the line to hire because no one's going to trust that they want to have a government job in the first place, seeing what Doge did and what Trump has done, letting go of federal workers. They're going to see that they don't get the benefits that they were promised. They're going to see their paychecks, depending on how Congress is feeling, are basically optional. They're going to find out that they may get a buyout, may not, may get fired at any time, may get replaced when a new administration comes in. When you behave this way, instead of allowing a baseline of career people at each agency to stay where they are and keep that knowledge and institutional integrity and intelligence there where we need it, you lose something huge. And the biggest thing that you lose is future trust. Just that the next generation, and honestly, I mean, what kind of fools would they be to take a government job after seeing what's happened over the last year? I wouldn't. My entire life, it was one of the safest, best things you could do is get a government job. You know you're going to get paid. You know you're going to get a pension. You're going to get health insurance. You're going to get well trained, probably overly trained. But you know what? When you're done, you own a home. You put your kids through school. You always had health insurance. You had food on the table. Maybe you had enough money to go on vacation every year. These people are not going to want to work for us anymore. They're going to say, what kind of an idiot would I be to go and take a government job after I saw what can happen? I'm not going to be there for 20 years. I can't trust that. So where do those people go? They go to the private enterprises that are going to pay them more money and be more stable. And that where if they lose the job, hey, at least there wasn't any special belief behind having that job. Because the thing that you need to understand about government workers is a way higher percentage of them than you think do what they do because they truly do love this country and their fellow citizens and truly do want to do the right thing and truly do want to follow the law and truly do want to make people's lives better. And when you make those people skeptical of taking these jobs, you lose something huge, which is basic trust in the government, period. En masse. It's a sad thing that's happened. And while I may have gotten off on a tangent, it is all related to the ICE agents. And what I have to say to those ICE agents right now, my honest statement to all of ICE if they were to ever see this, and I heard they are staging in Arizona, so we might see them around pretty soon. I want to say that I respect those of you who are doing your job properly. Those of you who aren't doing your job properly, I wish you were getting more training. I don't want to see that you're put in a position where you might be punished, disciplined, or even thrown in jail for something that one of your bosses asks you to do, or for that matter, allows you to do. I don't want to see that. And for those of you who are doing your job to the book and doing it perfectly and doing it for the right reasons, thank you. Thank you for serving your country. We appreciate it. Your services are needed. And I hope that you, as if you are one of those experienced and wise and intelligent ICE agents who's been doing this for a long time, please pass along that institutional knowledge before you ditch on the agency. I know things are hard right now. I know that you're looking at these people that they're giving you to work with, and you're going, how am I supposed to work with this? I get it. Please, do anything you can to change it on the way up so that you get better people, and anything beneath, below your pay grade. In other words, anybody who is one of those new people, throw them a bone, make them wise. Like, please do what you can, bring them up to speed. When you see them doing something they can't do, say, hey, you can't do that. And when I'm talking to protesters I might meet doing this job, or other people who, I mean, I'm not an activist, but maybe people who consider themselves activists. If I run into these people, I will do the same and try to pass on to them, hey, the way we should be feeling is that we should be thankful for the people who are doing this job properly and who are there as a bulwark against the people who are not. And we should be supporting more training and better tools for the people who are still learning and coming up, so that they can have that job and do it well and make the $50,000 to $80,000 a year, and take home a nice pension and have a couple of weeks of vacation a year if they're doing their job properly. We as citizens thank you for that. So I'll do my part to keep my people well, I don't want to say in line, because I support people protesting 100%, but I'll do my best to make sure that people coming from my angle understand that there is a valid job being done here. And yeah, I just wanted to get out there how I actually feel about ICE before anybody decided to attribute any particular viewpoints to me. So that's it. And I know I'm going to get some hate from maybe both sides on this one. I don't know, but that's how I feel. You guys have a wonderful night. More updates coming soon. If you notice that my eyes look a little bit better, thank you very much. They do, and I'm feeling better too. So, talk to you guys soon. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to comment, remember to share, and we will catch up soon.